Welcome back. Email and Messenger are most likely enemy number one when it comes to killing your productivity. Now, it hasn't taken that long for email and Messenger to completely change how we communicate and really become an everyday part of how most workers and companies interact. In fact, in one study, almost a third of workers list email and Messenger as their biggest distraction on the job. Another study found that a typical worker checks their email once every 5 minutes, and then, on average, it takes about 64 seconds to resume the previous task after checking their email. In fact, it's estimated that 70% of emails and messages actually interrupt the recipient within 6 seconds of arriving. With all the dinging and alerts going off all day long, it's amazing we get anything done. Brenton Burchard puts it best when he said that in many cases, your email inbox is a convenient organizing system for other people's agendas. We can be guilty of checking email and Messenger far too often, and many of us will check them first thing in the morning when we wake up. We'll check our emails and messages all day long and then check them right before we go to bed. Now, we're not saying that they can't be a great tool for communication or even a necessity in the workplace, but it's critical that you set up your own rules and restrictions for how often you check your emails and messages and use batch processing. Everybody's situation is different, but we highly encourage you to experiment with different constraints and only allow yourself to check emails and messages at designated times throughout the day. Another great strategy can be to check emails and messages when your energy levels are at the lowest. Typically, checking emails and messages, sending text or email, is a pretty easy job, and that will allow you to save your high energy and most productive time periods for your most important tasks. So what about you? What's your relationship with email and Messenger? Do you check them first thing in the morning? Do you check them all day long? If so, we encourage you to experiment over the next day or two. Pick 2 or 3 or 4 times max throughout the day that you're allowed to process and check email and messages. Only check them throughout those time frames and block off the rest of the time for your highest impact activities and most important priorities. Let's move on.